out to have a little walk here, but ooh, it seems cool out here a little bit. So, you know, this is my first time really to walk by myself, holding the camera up here, and it does seem weird at first. A lot of people tell me after they do this, it gets just like, you know, nothing at all, but to me, still seems weird. Walking around kind of talking to yourself, or, you know, a camera or whatnot like that. But anyhow, I'm trying to walk and get in shape a little bit for getting ready to head to Asia again. I think our plan is going to be we're going to leave here and go to Vietnam for a month, and then we'll go to the Philippines and stay there for I don't know how long, and then maybe actually when we're over in Vietnam, it's just a little quick bus ride over to Cambodia. So I think we're going to do that, and then head to Philippines, and then maybe Thailand or Indonesia, something like that. Big difference in last year. And I guess that's what I'll talk about, you know, and I don't know who I'm talking to. I guess I'm just talking to myself. Anybody who watches this, okay, but for me, it's more to go back and look at it in a year and say, man, look at that, what I was talking about. But our first trip over there to the Philippines was, we were planning on living there. I made a lot of mistakes. First, I would go over and stay like 6 weeks at a time, me and Davina, and then we thought, man, we know what it's like to live here after 6 weeks. So we decided we wanted to live there full time. So we went and bought property there, a lot of property, way too much, paid too much for it, but you know, you live and learn. And luckily, the people we bought it from, we made an arrangement and they bought it back from us for, you know, the same price, same deal. So really good folks. That was the first mistake. Staying 6 weeks and thinking you know what it's going to be like to live there. I would say a person should spend no less than 6 months, and you know, that's what every blogger will tell you. You know, you need to try it out for 6 months before you make a decision, and I mean, they're right. So we decided to move there full time last year, and I don't know, maybe it was an illusion of what it's like to have a little money and live large, and I guess I tried to do that. Got there and, you know, renting a big, you know, 4 or 5 bedroom house, like for $40K, and then buying a truck, you know, and that was like 900,000 pesos. You know, in the US it's probably, at the time, probably $17,000-$18,000. Man, I loved that truck though. It was a really nice truck. One of those Mazda Navara 4-wheel drive diesel, you know, and all the bells and whistles and buttons. I sure liked it. But then, you know, and then one car wasn't enough because Davina would drive my truck and wrecked it 2 or 3 times, so I had to get it fixed. So we bought her a small little car. You know, so there's another $4,000 or $5,000. And then, you know, had to work on it, get it fixed. So just a lot of overspending. You know, I maybe got caught up in it a little bit, but yeah, we were living there, and I'll be honest, my budget was $3,500 per month, and I still wasn't making it. I was running out of money. Now, to be fair, a lot of that was, I had a lot of, you know, fixed cost expenses You know, our daughter was in college there. You know, so there's support for her. You know, I've got obligations back here that I do. So probably, I guess, about $800 a month off the top came just from, you know, my obligations. So I probably had, you know, $2,800 and still wasn't making it. But, you know, you have a big house, you need people to help you with it. And we had, you know, some very nice people that lived with us that, you know, took care of everything, all the cooking, cleaning, and, you know, we really tried to treat them like family. Well, actually, part of it was family. But then it just kind of got so overwhelming that you're constantly going to the ATM, drawing out money, and, you know, and then your income's just, you know, and people, you know, I made a video with a friend of mine about, you know, that and issues I had with landlords there, and oh, people commented like, this guy's crazy, $3,500 a month, you know, he must be hanging out in bars all the time. But that wasn't the case. Now, don't get me wrong, I did. My thing, I would love to go to the beach and sit there and just watch people mainly and snorkel, but I would sit there and drink beer. But, you know, one of those big beers, maybe $3, you know, that's probably about what it was. And so, but I guess that stuff kind of adds up. So then we just came to the realization that we made a big mistake. We decided we weren't really ready to settle down anywhere because, you know, I have kids and grandkids and parents here, and after being gone about 6 months, you kind of start to miss those guys. And so that's when we decided now to come live here in North Carolina in the summertime, and then go to Asia and live in the wintertime, because we both hate snow, we both hate cold weather. So that's the plan right now. So next month we're headed out, and we are not sure we really want to even stay in one place this time. Now, that's not to say that in the future we probably will settle down. You know, once my grandkids get a little bit older, which is really hard to be apart from. My youngest grandson Aiden, he was born last year in July, and we had just left, so he was almost 1 year old before I even saw him, and that was tough. He's a cute kid, always smiling. But I guess that's it for right now. I mean, I could talk more in detail about, you know, the mistakes and the money I spent. I mean, it was just like an open sieve, and we didn't even really travel that much. We went to Shargau once and a couple other little resorts, but we've learned that mistake, and this year it'd be a big difference. Spending money in Vietnam on dental work. So a couple of implants. Well, I tell you, that's a big thing in Vietnam. You know, here we had Davina, she had needs implants, so we checked everything here, and everything she needs, it's going to be about $30,000. Yeah, 30,000 US dollars. So, you know, that just wasn't happening. So we go to Vietnam, and I send them the same information we got from the dentist here about the treatment plan and all of that. 4 implants, you know, root canals, crowns, that kind of stuff. Everything, 4,000 US dollars. 30,000 versus 4,000. And I tell you, a lot of people make a vacation out of it. Well, they've even got packages. So our ticket we didn't get a round trip ticket, but one way was about $500. So you got $1,000 in a round trip ticket for, let's say you go there and stay, 2 weeks. So that's $1,000 in a ticket. Very nice accommodations. You're probably looking at, really nice, probably $50 a night. You can find a lot of options less than that, but that's got a lot of the comforts that everybody's going to be used to. So let's say 10, that's so for 10 nights, that's $500 for lodging, and food. It's very cheap to eat there also, but you get by on, I would say, your other costs besides the dental. And this is one person, a lot of times people are going to have a spouse to travel with them, but for one person, you've got $1,000, 500, so 2,000. I would say 2,000 is plenty enough money to spend while you're there. $4,000 for your dental work. So now all in, we're at $6,000 versus $30,000, and I get a free 2-week vacation in Vietnam. So if you got the time, it's kind of a no-brainer. And it's not only Vietnam. I know there's places like that in Thailand and even Mexico, which is close to here, but not as cheap. Thailand and Mexico, they've kind of increased in the cost. Hello. So yeah, they've really increased in the cost, Thailand and Mexico, because a lot of people did it. And in Vietnam, the technology, man, you can even see all this on YouTube. You can Google, Vietnam dental or Thailand dental, Mexico dental, something like that. It would be a good option. So, alrighty.